Wizards. Welcome to episode 37 of the Wizard podcast. It's been a beautiful week and it's going to be a beautiful week coming up. Now, when I say a beautiful week, I mean a beautiful week in terms of trading. 2 or 3 weeks now, miraculous calls, absolute perfection. We have been on a streak like no other yet again. It's an incredibly exciting time in the cryptocurrency market right now. BTC, yet again, just to abbreviate today in a very short-term basis, BTC has literally spiked all the way down to the $7,000 region, then dipping into that $6,900 region, which I anticipated and gave several days ago. We caught the long from 6,800 precisely to 7,350, and now we have caught the reversal. Now, some of you shorted. I didn't really advise to do so. Although we knew it was going to come down, it wasn't really wise and within the risk management guidelines to do so. But we've now seen the pullback. The trade is looking beautiful again. It looks like this setup could be rocketing us higher very soon. So throughout the period of this podcast, I'll also be providing a BTC update as I'm watching the charts as I do the podcast. But more importantly, what is coming up in the week ahead? Now, if you do not already know, guys, in just 5 days time, yes, that's 5 days time, we're going to need you guys to guess the time on this, because on the 29th, the Wizard platform is coming. This is the moment of truth. And yet again, you can tell by the tone in my voice how excited things are getting once again. Twitter, Instagram, Telegram, the community is growing stronger by the day, and I cannot wait for the Wizards to finally have access to the platform and you guys can finally unlock your potential. If the calls have been anything to go by so far, I'm sure you guys now are starting to see exactly what is lurking behind the platform, what is lurking behind those tiles, those tabs and those pages. Absolutely everything you've been seeing for the past year, and in particular in the past month, as we refine some extra nitty-gritty bits behind the scenes, I am working and utilizing and using the platform to my advantage, and you are seeing the absolute perfection on these calls right now, just utilizing those different real-time data streams, all of that live information that's coming in by the second. That is what is giving me this upper hand advantage, and I'm laughing because it's funny at how easy it has become to be consistently profitable within this market just by utilizing information that the majority do not have access to. And to be honest with you, the thought now that in 5 days time, this is the moment, this is everything we've been talking about, just breaking free, finally giving everyone the same opportunity. You're already wizards, but it's time to become elite wizards. It's time to actually elevate yourselves and level up, escape that rat race, and just show you guys a different way of life. The platform is just looking incredible right now, and I'm just looking at it right now as I talk. That's why I'm laughing a little bit as well, because it's just I'm just obsessed with this platform and its capabilities and what it's done for me. You guys have probably seen yourselves, I've always been what I consider myself a very good trader. However, over the years, we've progressed and we've actually developed this platform. I've seen my own skills develop, and I'm sure you guys have probably noticed that yourselves, where the calls have become more refined, the entries are better, the profit taking, the actual size of the trades we're capturing. And all of the information that I'm giving you guys is coming from the platform now. There's no external sources. Absolutely everything is coming from one portal, one home, one platform. And this will essentially become your home very soon. And this is what I'm so excited for. The thought that in just a matter of days, every single wizard is going to be united. We're going to be in the same collective community. We're going to slowly break away from Twitter, slowly break away from social media. We'll have all of that integrated soon and surely as well. Everything is coming together. The pieces of the puzzle are finally pieced together. So it's just overall crazy. It's excited. And to be honest with you, it's about you guys, this platform. This is about actually giving you guys the opportunity and showing you things do not have to be how you've conventionally seen. Everything we're taught from the beginning in terms of the rat race, getting a job, doing this, doing that, everything we're taught, we are doing it differently now. We are changing the game. It's now up to you guys to change your lives. And I promise you, with hard work, dedication, and by applying the principles, you're going to enhance your own calls. You are going to enhance your mindset. There's more than just trading. within this platform. This is what everyone, there has been a misconception. Is it just trading? There's investments, there's psychology, there's life advice. There is absolutely everything from ICOs to spending crypto to profit taking to margin trading to using platforms. There is absolutely everything. The books, combining all of this together. This has taken so much time for the Wizard team to get together, piece together the piece of the puzzle, bash our heads together, in fact, back and forth, listening to what you guys are saying, and finally it's coming. So I just wanted to kickstart again with a very positive note, a very exciting note of absolutely everything that's coming forward. And in saying that, on another positive note as well, I do believe it's time to actually execute on that BTC long. So as I'm on this, I guess you could say podcast right now, I'm actually going to execute the BTC long position. So you guys will know at approximately 20 to 5 p.m. here in the UK, that BTC call has just been executed, and there is room lower for another potential movement, which I'll happily capture should we see that movement as well. So if we do see a little dip into that $6,900 region, we're currently just below around $6,980, but my goodness, if we do see that extra push, it's going to be a miraculous kickstart to the next week again. Now, all I can wish is, in synchronization with the Wizard platform launch, we also have a beautiful BTC call to match this as well. But more importantly, we're going to be discussing in this podcast, seeing as we're on the topic of the platform, seeing as all of you guys are about to become official wizards in a matter of days, it's only right we do this podcast regarding trading, regarding psychology, and do you know what, just giving you a bit more of an insight into what I'm actually seeing here, what I'm thinking, what is going into these calls, and how it's benefiting you guys as well. Now, the first thing for me is BTC in particular. That is my main focus right now when it comes to the charts. It's the only thing I'm really looking at. I've kind of scrapped away the others for the time being in the altcoins, and the reason being is because the BTC dominance is still around 66.2%. Now, it has taken a little decline, as you know, from around September. It was at around 69 to 70%. So it has tumbled a little bit, but regardless, no matter what it does, the altcoins are going down with it. Of course, Tether, the only exception, as we know, even that's doing pretty good yet again, exceeding that 1% figure. But overall, we need to understand that BTC is in charge, so we must follow the leader. And that means by following the leader, you have a much higher chance of becoming profitable. So putting all of that into perspective right now, how do I view the charts? What is something that's different, and what is something that could maybe give you an advantage? Well, the first thing is the black candlesticks, the graphite candlesticks. They can be any color, but all I've done is I've actually scrapped away the ideology of having bullish candles and bearish candles. I've been doing this since the beginning of the year, but seeing as these are some of the surface level strategies and some of the surface level tips and tricks that I'll be providing in the platform, it's only right I start integrating these into the charts. Now, there's way more than where that came from in terms of strategies. I even done a one-to-one live webinar with one of the webinar winners, and I gave him the inside information. I gave him the secrets. I showed him exactly what I was looking at. For the first time ever, I actually showed someone exactly how I view the charts, and he was absolutely blown away with what he was seeing. He literally could not believe what I was showing him and how simplistic it was. And this is the key. This is the goal, so to speak, of trading. It's about simplicity. It's about actually understanding that there is no need for a complex understanding of the market. You do not need 7,000 indicators. You do not need all of these different zones and graphs and bars and charts and anything else that comes with it. You just need clear and clean price action. So this is something that I'm hoping you guys can take away from this podcast. Importantly, the first point to mention is simplicity. When it comes to charting, the market is already complex. The crypto market is complex. Blockchain is complex. Why make life harder for yourself and make the charting complex as well? Why not just keep it simplistic, keep it clean? And I promise you, and as I said in the Telegram as well, the less you actually trade, and this is a very serious point, the less you trade, the more profitable you will actually be in the long run. Because the less, let's just say the less trade you're in, let's use a good example. Let's use someone who is consistently looking for trades. They're consistently looking to enter and exit the market. They just want to be in the market 24/7. They cannot get out. The problem is with this is no matter how professional you are, no matter how much experience you have, there will always be that psychological implication when you're involved in a trade. There will be an emotional attachment to some extent. Now, do not care how experienced you are, how long you've been doing this. When you are involved in a trade, you are always going to have some form of attachment. Now, put that together with someone who's new to the market, someone who has put their hard-earned money through whatever job that may be, forever, whatever source that may be. Every single person who has earned their money has had to work some form of labor. You've had to do some form of effort, and effort has been put in to earn that money, which means if you are putting in that effort and then you are putting your money at risk in the market, there is going to be a psychological implication somewhere, because the money you've got guaranteed from a job, for example, no matter what you do, you turn up, you show up, you will get paid at the end of the month. But when it comes to trading, there is not that same guarantee. And the money that you are making effortlessly somewhere else, or maybe the money that you're slaving away for somewhere else, to put that into an entire new asset class and then be the dictator, you are given full power of your decisions, full power over your money. You are now in control, and you are told that if you press buy or if you press sell, there is a 50-50 opportunity in most circumstances. Now, not 50-50 if you're trading in the wizard way, but in general, it's either going to go up or down. You are in control of that. And when you are put under this huge responsibility when it comes to trading, you can often find yourself clouded in all kinds of mental judgments, dictations with yourself, consistent battles back and forth with, am I right? Is this the right decision? Am I even doing this correctly? There are all kinds of crazy thoughts that will be running through your head when trading. So the first thing to realize is the least amount of trades you're in, the better off you're going to be. Now, this doesn't mean take one trade a month or take 2 trades a month. It just means in between trades, or when you're actually looking to take trades, the first thing I always do, and I will always preach this again and again and again, let the market come to you. No matter what you do, the market, and your main goal should be to identify key areas in the market first where price can bounce back and forth from. These are key regions where you should be looking to execute your trades. The biggest problem I made in the beginning, and I'll be laying out some of my mistakes as well, and just running through all of the mistakes that I made in the beginning, because the more I spill with where I went wrong, you will know to not do the same. And it's the same for the platform. When people are asking me, is it going to be easy? It will be easy because I've made the mistakes for you. Every single thing I'm showing you is because I've made the mistakes. I've been through the years of pain and suffering trying to master this skill set, so you guys don't have to. It's as simple as that. And this is why in every podcast and every Wizard Wednesdays and every single piece of content I give out, the goal here is to show you that I'm doing and I've done all of this so you guys do not need to go through the same fate. And that's the truth. The problem is in the beginning, when you first get started, if you do not have the correct guidance, if you do not have the correct mindset instilled into you from the very beginning, you're going to have a very difficult time. Now, the best way to alleviate this is finding correct guidance and understanding before you jump into a not necessarily a risky market, but a market where your actions will dictate your outcome. And this is not always the case, because in a normal job, even if you're not performing too well, you're still going to get the same paycheck at the end of the month, unless of course you're in a commission-based or commission-structured role. Now, when it comes to trading, having that power and knowing that one wrong decision is your fault, that can be very hard to deal with. And as human tendencies go, the first thing we like to do is blame others. We never want to put the blame on ourselves. We never want to blame the market. Oh no, we actually do. We like to blame the market. We always want to blame the market. But the truth is, we are the ones, let's just say we had a losing trade. We are the ones that decided to enter that trade ourselves. No matter what anyone says, even if you're following a signal provider, a signal service, we are the ones that have taken that decision to actually execute that trade. No matter what someone says, it's the same as what your parents would say. If your friends told you to jump off a cliff, would you do the same? And the truth is, if you jumped off a cliff because your friend told you to and you ended up breaking a leg or you died, you would have no one to blame but yourself, because you jumped off that cliff. You made that rational decision to dive, whether it was a backflip, whether you wanted to go out extravagantly, or whether you simply just, barrel rolled over the edge. You have made that decision yourself to jump off a cliff. So the same goes with trading. You have made that decision yourself to execute a trade. So it makes perfect sense that when it comes to trading, we have to first understand ourselves internally. And when it comes to understanding yourself internally, you often do not really realize what you are as a person, who you are as a person, and what you are capable of until you actually start making mistakes. But the beauty is, if you enter in the correct profession, now let's just say someone that's been mentored in real estate versus someone who hasn't been mentored in real estate. The person that's been mentored is obviously going to get there a lot faster with the correct guidance. And the same applies in any field or any industry. I'm not exactly the fittest person in the world in terms of aesthetics. And honestly, I'm probably not a very good runner. I have no running skills whatsoever. I have no stamina. And I say running skills because I'm not even sure I can run properly. But I promise you, if an Olympic athlete was to train me, I'd probably get there a lot faster than most people. And it applies anywhere else as well. You can go to the gym and go onto Google and find a workout routine, which might work well. But if you're trained by an elite bodybuilder who's not on steroids, or even if they are, they're going to get you there quicker. And the same applies absolutely everywhere else as well. But our key takeaway for me is the black charts, the black candlesticks. Now, I've decided to reveal these to start getting you guys prepared psychologically, because what I no longer look at, this is the most crucial aspect of trading. When you first go onto trading, and I've said this before, whether it's Baby Pips, whether it's any other software, any other platform, any other place, we are always taught the exact same things. Now, the problem is with the statistic that over 95% of retail traders fail, or the reason they fail, first of all, isn't because they've been through years of hardship. It's because they give up. The statistic actually takes into consideration the people that have quit. And the truth is, the majority quit before they've seen the light at the end of the tunnel, before they've seen or reaped the rewards, or even gained the skill set to even give them that opportunity or possibility to break out. And this is a major problem in society, because we all just give up. We love to quit. We love to blame others. We love to blame the world. I'm sure you've seen all the memes now. Okay, boomer, or millennials this, millennials that. I hate millennials. Everyone knows that. And the truth is, it's no one's fault, because we've been brought up in this society to think this way, to act this way, to be hesitant, to be scared of everything, to be complacent, stay in that 9 to 5, just stick to a normal job, stick to a normal salary. It's basic, it's complacency, and it will not get you to where you want to be in life. And the first stage of trading is understanding why 99% fail. The way I got to where I am in life today, and the way I've actually managed to excel beyond what my family have done so far, or anyone, to be honest, in normal, it's just by doing the opposite of everyone else. And I've always been very stubborn. I've never listened to people. I've always wanted to do it my own way. And that's the truth. The truth is, look at your friends around you, for example. Are your friends doing good? Or are your friends just bums? Are they just, chilling and smoking all day, drinking, partying? Or are they working hard? Are they entrepreneurs? What are they doing? Look at your people around you as well. This all interlinks to absolutely everything. Are your friends laughing at you trading? My friends used to laugh at me trading, and guess what? They're not my friends anymore, because now when the going got good, everyone wants to reconnect. Everyone wants to catch up. Everyone wants to link up, have a little talk. Oh, how's things for you now? How are things going? And it's funny how during those hard stages in life, no one's there for you. No one's there to support you. And the ones that are, you need to be very careful and keep them close by, because as I just said, it all interlinks into the big picture. The amount of people that used to say, you're not making money yet. You're not, like, why are you still doing this? Are you crazy? And the truth is, maybe you do have to be a bit crazy to actually be involved in this space, because no normal human being would be willing to put themselves through that endless psychological torment 24/7 to grasp this aspect, to master this skill set. So it does take a certain caliber of person to even get there in the first place. But the truth is, every single person in the world is capable of absolutely anything. And the biggest problem is, the reason why there is only a 1% in the world, and we call these elite the 1%, because they're the only 1% of this entire planet's population that are willing to do what others are not. It's very simple. The 1% is a very small statistic. It's a very small number. So you can understand why there is a 1% in the world, because only that percentage of people have done what the others do not. The majority of the world, whether that's poverty stricken, whether that's just a working class, whatever it is, these people have stuck within the same boundaries. They've just remained in their shackles, and they've stayed there. They've done nothing to get out from where they're currently in. Now, when it comes to trading and when it comes to understanding the markets, this is like learning Mandarin. It's like understanding hieroglyphics, because it's an entirely new language. In school, you're taught English, you're taught French, you're taught German, depending on where you are in the world. But in general, in the UK, it's French and German alongside English, obviously. Now, when you're learning that as a kid, it becomes second nature, it becomes normal. But as you start progressing and getting older, and if you were to pick up a new language now, let's just say in your 20s, your 30s or 40s, it's going to be considerably harder versus getting started as a child. Let's just say a good example for me, I'm not fluent in Turkish, but my family are Turkish. I was brought up speaking Turkish. My dad used to speak Turkish to me, my mum as well. And what's happened over the years is I've naturally picked it up. I can now have a full conversation in Turkish. I can understand. I can go to the foreign countries on my own, and I can handle language, I can handle business, I can do all of that now simply by just growing up around those surroundings. But when it came to trading and candlesticks, you've gone from learning letters and numbers to reading a rectangle and a line. Now, you think about that for a second, that's pretty crazy that many people can even do this. And people look at me sometimes as if I'm as if I've come from the Matrix or a different planet, or I'm from like Mars or Pluto or Jupiter, because I can read these charting hieroglyphics, so to speak. And the truth is, it takes a long time. It takes years to understand. But this is why simplicity is key. If it's already a struggle, let's just say you're learning Mandarin, why would you then go out your way whilst learning Mandarin to throw in some Japanese, to throw in some, you throw in some German in there as well, a bit of French, a bit of Spanish, just to mix it up. You've got all of this stuff going on. And that's essentially the same as trading. If you've got one language there, which is the candlesticks, why are you making life more difficult by throwing in indicators? Why are you making life more difficult by throwing in all of these other kind of algos and crazy little pattern formations when it doesn't need to be that way? If I was obviously learning a different language, like an actual, or even a programming language, you wouldn't mix C++ with Python and Java or HTML all in one go. You would learn one language at a time. Now, I'm not the strongest in terms of coding or understanding any of that stuff or programming languages, but I'm surrounded by it. The Wizard team have an extensive knowledge in coding and in programming. So I already know, and I've already learned through the community I'm with and through self-education. I once learned Python the hard way. I'm sure many of you guys know about that as well. I once tried to start making iOS apps. I've been down that route. I've tried it, and I didn't have the time because I was focusing on Forex and crypto. But the same applies. You wouldn't start learning one language and then trying to juggle 7 on top. It will just confuse you more and leave you in a worse situation than you were before. But more importantly, the black candlesticks are there to alleviate the bulls and bears. And this is the biggest takeaway from this podcast. This is the main point I want to talk about. I no longer look at candlesticks. I look at bulls and bears. I paint a picture in my head. And you're going to see this in the Wizard platform as well. We have the technical articles / technical outlooks. Now, every day I will post an update twice regarding whether it's BTC, XRP, ETH or LTC. Those are the main ones I focus on. And you will see within those technical outlooks, as I'm writing it, I'm actually painting a picture. I'm not telling you that BTC has tapped $8,000 and hit the 61.8. I'm actually telling you how I'm viewing it. It's as if I'm writing a story. And this is how I've realized you can gain an upper hand in the markets by reading the markets for what they truly are. We have to remember the markets are controlled by human beings. They are controlled by people. Everything you see within those candlesticks is an emotional decision made by a human being. Whether that's a banker selling 50 million or 100 million, whether it's a hedge fund or an institution selling several billion, there is a rational decision and a thought process behind pressing the buy or sell button. The same goes for the Forex market and any other market. Those candlesticks going up and down all day. And when we say bulls and bears, now we have to remember we're not talking about literal animals here. We're not talking about creatures or aliens or anything. We are talking about human beings. A bull is someone who is looking to long or buy an asset or a financial instrument. A bear is someone who is looking to short or sell a financial instrument or asset. So the first things first, you already see all of these obstacles you're faced with as a beginner or even as a normal trader. The first thing you see is multiple colored candlesticks. You see a green candlestick, you think bulls, let's buy. You see the bear, the red or purple candlestick, depending on your setup. It could even be any color. But we know in general, there are colors, there are associations, the same as anything in life. The same way we dictate quitting our 9 to 5 as a risk. It's only a risk because it's been dictated and pre-programmed in that way to be considered a risk. The same goes for trading. You're known bulls and bears. You see candlesticks, you see breakouts, you see all of these formations, haramis, dojis, all of these crazy things, bearish engulfings, blah, blah, blah. I couldn't care less for bearish engulfings. I couldn't care less for dojis. I do not even look at candlesticks anymore in that way. Many people wait, let's just say, and remember, the whole world's looking at this. The whole world is thinking, okay, we've got the bearish engulfing. It's time to short. Let's go. But guess what? 99% of the people are looking at the same thing. You have to look at the market, how the institutions are looking at the market, how the people who have actual control over this market are identifying and viewing the charts on a daily basis. Now, the best way for me is to alleviate the bulls and bears and actually look at them as human beings. Or if you are going to look at it as bulls and bears, look at them as literal bulls and bears. Look at it as a game of tug of war. Look at it like that and understand that every time you see a movement going back and forth, I look at it as a tug of war where people are fighting and there's a consistent battle. And then that way you start painting a picture in your head and you understand that if the bulls lose the war or the bears win the war, vice versa, however you want to look at it, you get a better picture of how the market's moving. So a good example is for me right now, I'm looking at BTC, which is around $7,020 right now. It's just tapped the $7,000 zone precisely, exactly where I wanted it to be. It's even broken through a little intraday level of support. I'm not looking at this right now going, wow, we've just tapped this trend line, we've just tapped this zone, things are looking perfect, things are looking great. I'm looking at this in a manner where actually the bears have gained a bit of control, but they're not looking too promising right now in terms of, hold on a minute, now it's going down again, now it's going up again. But where are the bulls right now? Are they above support? Are they above resistance? And guess what? The bulls are now above resistance, which means the bulls are starting to push higher. Look at it as if pushing a car. You've got a bunch of people on the front end of the car pushing it backwards, and you've got a bunch of people from the back end of the boot, they're pushing it forward. So if you look at it this way, you can slowly start to see if you've got two forces pushing a car or pushing a brick or anything, you know that these people they're basically battling. It's a battle of who has the most power, and that's essentially what the markets are. It's a battle of who has the most control. Now, I'm watching the bulls slowly push higher through resistance, which means the bears are weakening, which means the bears are losing momentum, which also means the bulls are gaining more momentum, they're gaining more power. So look at it as a sporting event. If you were going to put your odds on a football team and they were already 3-0 up, your odds are going to be more favoured towards the team that's already winning. And that's how you look at this game. You look at it as the bulls and bears battling. I look at it as a Roman Colosseum, so to speak. I'm watching the gladiators fight, and it's as if I'm placing bets on who's going to win. The more power the bears gain, the more likely I am to go short. The more power the bulls gain, the more likely I am to go long. And it's as simple as that. You have to shift your mindset from looking at coloured candlesticks, looking at anything else that you're taught from the beginning. Because the truth is, by the time you've seen the bearish engulfing, everyone else has seen the bearish engulfing. By the time you've seen the morning star or the evening star, the entire globe has as well. The entire human race who is trading is watching the exact same thing as well. Now, putting all of this into perspective and to keep it very simple and to end this podcast on a positive note, because there's going to be a lot more like this where that came from. Your goal here is to make it as simple as possible. Your goal here is to break away from the ideologies that you're taught from the beginning. You have to think like a professional. You have to act like a professional and go out of your way to actually achieve something and view the markets in a different mindset. And that means not actually trading 24/7. I'm providing the calls there for you so you do not have to do the work. You need to utilize the time that I'm actually providing. Use the hard work that I'm doing behind the scenes on the charts is so you guys do not have to. Use that free time to actually analyze the markets and start understanding. Strip your charts clean. Get rid of every indicator, every drawing. Start fresh. Get the rectangle tool. Plot the zones. Go onto the monthly time frame. Plot the key regions where reversals have happened from. Drop down to the weekly and do the same thing in a different colored zone. Now you've got monthly zones colored in one color. Now you've got weekly zones covered in another color. Go down to the daily and do it one more time. Then from there onwards, you monitor the 4 hour, the 1 hour, the 30 minute, the 15 minute, and even the 5 minute if need be, to see how the market starts bouncing back and forth from these zones. Spend a week not trading, spend a month not trading, spend a month just analyzing that market and understanding what it's actually doing. And understand it's not just a bunch of candles going up and down. Understand there are forces, external forces at play that are playing a major role in how the market moves. And the quicker you understand that, the quicker you're going to understand trading. Now, guys, In 5 days' time, the Wizard platform is going live. We'll have a little bit of fun. I need you guys, drop a little tweet. Let me know. Drop a comment as well. Let me know when you think. We'll have a little game. Guess when that release time is coming. Now, we know. I just want you guys to have a little guess and let me know what you think. But I'm just going to say I'm incredibly excited. After all of this hard work, the pieces of the puzzle are finally forming and merging together. They are solidified. They are glued and they are set in stone. And the world is about to be shocked at what's coming. You're seeing how fast the Wizard platform is growing, and honestly, it's very simple right now. The motto is freedom for all. I've achieved it. I've helped many people achieve it, and the Wizard team together are going to get every single person towards their goals. It's very simple. You either join or you get left behind. Right now, we are seeing people amassing in a mass rate. The Wizard community is growing and it's phenomenal. I've never seen so many people make so much money in a short space of time. You could even check my Instagram. You can check the Wizard Instagram, the Telegram, whatever you want to check, whether it's on Twitter. I've never seen so many people come from no experience in this market to making so much money in such a rapid rate. People are elevating their trading skill set just from the calls alone. So once we unleash this platform, once we give everyone everything they ever need in one place, I truly believe we are going to see a revolution like no other moving forward. And I do believe the Wizard platform, the Wizard family and the Wizard group are going to pave this industry into an entirely new direction in a matter of years. And it's the same way the market's in its infancy right now. I believe the Wizard platform is in its infancy right now. And it's very simple. Those that do not get ahead and jump on board will be left behind. I cannot wait to see what happens in this week ahead. BTC is now running. Let's see if we can get that push higher. All in all, guys, it's going to be a great week, a great month, a great year, and a great decade ahead. And I cannot wait to be there with all of you every single step of the way.